Oh man, it's been a rough day. It's Thursday. I wish it was
Yeah.
Saturday night because this weekend could not come soon enough, my friend.
Yeah, you're telling me, man. Work's been kicking my ass. So,
Dude,
uh,
what'd you do today? What happened?
no, it was just, it was just we've been trying to meet this deadline for a client. I'm a graphic designer, and
Mhm.
we've been trying to meet this deadline for our client, and it's been just insane. So it's just been a lot of work. I love what I do, but just even when you love what you do, sometimes it can get to be a little too much.
Oh, of
So
course. Is it a
yeah,
picky client kind of thing, or is it just a lot of work that has to get done?
it's a lot of work, and we're kind of it's like kind of like a small startup company. So there's like
Okay.
not a lot of people, but this is probably the biggest like client we've taken on so far.
Uh-huh.
So it's but we're getting it done. We're gonna meet the deadlines and everything. We just all been busting our ass, and we'll get it.
It's
So
all we can ask for, because
yeah,
it's the fourth quarter.
yes,
Yeah, it's starting that, so everyone's trying to get stuff done before the end of the year, kind of thing. And with stuff getting done, that means we're gonna get this done. And I'd like to
yes,
welcome everyone to the What If podcast. I am your forever host because the only way I'm not your host is the show doesn't exist anymore, and that's not going to happen on my watch. I'm Ugo. Hello, everyone. And this week I have my host all the way from the great Northeast up there, one of those states that do things. Nick
New
Leslie,
Jersey.
New
Yes,
Jersey.
yes,
Oh, so straight from New York's parking lot, New
yes,
Jersey,
exactly. Yep.
is Nick Leslie. Say hi to everybody, Nick.
Hey everybody, what's going on?
All right, Nick, tell the people about yourself. What do you do? How do you do things and stuff about you?
Well, yeah, I'm just well, during the day, I'm a graphic designer. That's my full-time job. I work on websites and other graphics for clients and for a company. I can't say much more than that. They don't want me putting a lot of stuff out there, but that's what I do. And then I also host a podcast. At like kind of like a hobby kind of thing, but it's getting a decent fan base.
Plug away, man. This is all about plugs. Plug you, plug me, plug everybody, man.
Um,
Marcus was on here last week plugging the shit out of his show, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's called the Cheap Pop Podcast. It's a podcast about pro wrestling. Yes, the wrestling where the guys fake fight in underwear. Yeah,
It's real to me, damn it. It's real to me.
yes. It is very real to me. But yeah, no, it's a fun podcast. Me and my buddy, my co-host Perry, we do the show. Usually every Friday it comes out, but it's not gonna be on Friday this week, because of scheduling. But yeah, usually every Friday it drops, and we also do a show called Cheap Pop Culture, where we talk about pop culture stuff, movies, TV, other stuff, video games sometimes. So yeah, so we kind of have two podcasts going on, and it's pretty good. We're doing it for four years now.
Wow,
So
4 years.
yeah,
I think I'm coming up on my year anniversary. Yeah, I think in somewhere in November is when I started. So, man, if I could only get to those 4 years. If I could only get to if I
it
could only
goes by, man.
graduate from podcast college.
It goes by really fast. It does not feel like 4 years at all, but
No.
it's yeah, it's hours of content, and but it's all worth it. Like when you're having fun doing it, it's just it goes by. So
Yeah. Yeah, you said you do a pop culture podcast. It's kind of I just talk about, all types of shit here. And since I've been on, a lot of I'll say a lot of stuff has happened, Nick.
oh
A lot
yeah,
of stuff. Yeah, in the last 2 weeks since I've been on here. It's been crazy. Let's start should we work our way backwards or start from the beginning? I don't know. Because most recently, unfortunately, um the city of Las Vegas, future home of the Raiders, um, experienced a tragedy on I believe was it Monday or Tuesday night. I think it was
it was
Tuesday.
it was like Monday night into Tuesday. I think it was like late into
Yeah,
like so yeah, like it was
Mon-
like Tuesday over here, but it was still Monday night
yeah, because I remember waking
there
up
because it
Tuesday
was
morning and looking at my phone was all like, oh wow, this all for the way I found out. If those of you, if you've been living under a rock and this is the only news you get, thank you. But there was unfortunately the worst mass shooting in U.S. history happened unfortunately on the second evening of October on a Tuesday, Monday night in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, a gunman killed. I think last time I saw the death toll was 50 people and injured 500.
Yes. And some of those that may go up because some of those are injured, might die. So
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
in
know.
critical condition in Las Vegas, and they might die. So that number might go up. The way I found out was I had on Facebook. I had my cousin say they were safe, and I was like, safe? She's in Vegas. Why would she be safe? And and that's when I looked everything up, and that's when I found it. So
Yeah, yeah. When I found out, it was just one of those nights where I was getting like stuff done at home for work. It was late, and I was just checking Twitter, and I saw that Las Vegas was trending #1. And whenever something is trending on Twitter, #1 worldwide, that usually means something's bad's happened.
yeah, I know,
Or
right? God, why get good shit trend good worldwide?
it was the same thing when Tom Petty died. When Tom Petty died, it was
yeah, that happened the same day, huh?
yeah, it was the #1 trend, and I was like, oh shit, Tom Petty's probably dead. And I saw it and he was dead. But yeah, when I clicked on the Vegas thing, I just saw all these people putting up videos of people running, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I saw the actual articles about like some guy opened up at a country music concert, like he opened fire from a hotel window. And it was crazy, man. And the thing is too, like I was reading like just like a couple like about like yesterday about the updated injuries. A lot of those injured people aren't even from the gunshots; they're from getting trampled, from like people running away from the gunfire. Like it was just it was just insane. I mean, apparently this guy, they don't know why he did it yet, but he had no criminal background. No, I mean I don't know if he had no like mental issues that were documented. But they said that this was definitely premeditated, and he had I think it was like 2 or 3 times over the last like month or two, he had booked hotels overseeing concert festivals, and he didn't go through with it. Like he never showed up for his hotel. So they were saying that he was plotting this for a while. He got a hotel looking over Lollapalooza in Chicago.
Oh God.
But he never showed up for his hotel. And then there was another concert festival the week before in Vegas, like not this week but last week in Vegas, that he had booked a hotel for, and he never showed up for that either. So I don't know if he was trying to get this whole plan done and something went wrong and he said fuck it and just waited for the next opportunity. So, yeah, it was crazy, man. It's a shame the world we live in. It really.
Before we continue forward, and I know probably it's been out there already, and I understand that, but first and foremost, we're gonna label this guy a terrorist, okay?
Oh yes,
I'm not going to wait until someone chains me into it, or he could have been mentally ill or deranged, but first and foremost, he's a terrorist, okay?
Yes,
he's a terrorist. I feel and that if he was a few shades darker, then that would have been the first thing out of people's mouth. But unfortunately, because he was of course, I was actually at work today, or I was leaving my mom's house, which is also my work. But I was there, and of course they're doing interviews on TV, and of course they're like, "Oh, we talked to his hairdresser," and his hairdresser said, "Oh, he's such a nice guy." And I'm thinking to myself, like, I want to see the dude. I want to see the person that says, "Man, that dude was fucking crazy."
Yeah,
man, he had the crazy look in his eye. Because everyone that's met him that people are going to talk to are going to say he was such a nice guy. Yeah, he seemed so calm. He didn't seem crazy, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, yeah, he definitely is a terrorist. I got into an argument on Facebook with somebody about it. A good friend of mine.
That never happens.
Yes, a good friend of mine. He's not like, he doesn't usually. I don't know where he was coming from with this, but he just didn't want to call. Like he was like, I need to find out more before I call the guy a terrorist. I'm like, dude, he's a fucking terrorist. If you whip out a gun and you shoot into a mass crowd of people, you're causing terror. You're inciting terror. Like, that's what you are. You're a terrorist. You're a domestic terrorist. You're not using it for political gain or whatever, but you still are a terrorist. So, I mean, it's insane, man. It really is.
I do like how, or I hate for what perspective you're from. How like afterwards, ISIS is all like, "Yeah, that was us," and we're like,
Yeah,
"ISIS for real? ISIS, come on now."
yeah. It was that was a little too much. Um, but yeah, it was just so I don't know. I mean, and we definitely need to do something about these, the gun laws, even though these were illegally purchased weapons
Hmm.
apparently, but
Hmm.
it still doesn't change the fact that we do have a problem with getting these weapons because if the people he bought them from probably got them, I don't know where they got them, but I
You
mean,
could
it's
probably,
just
I bet you this. Yeah, he got them legally. I'm not saying he did. He got them legally, but I'm betting he could probably get a lot of the guns he had from gun shows
oh
because
yeah,
they'll have the whole like, oh, there's this one piece you need to actually make it firing, but we don't sell that piece. But I can probably hook you up with a guy who knows how to sell that piece,
yeah,
type of thing.
yeah, and in some states you can buy them in store. I know that I live in South Jersey, so I'm
Hmm.
about 20 to 30 minutes from Philadelphia. I'm closer to Philadelphia than I am to New York.
Okay.
Um, and in PA, they did a thing at my local news station because I get a lot of the Philadelphia news channels.
Yeah.
They went to it was right after the Orlando shooting at the
Hmm.
nightclub,
Yeah.
and they went to a gun store and they walked in and they were going to get the same gun. They were going to see how long it would take for them to purchase the same gun that the guy used in the shooting. And they walked in and they walked out 10 minutes later with the gun. Like
Wow.
10 minutes. Like background check did everything. The extensive background check, quote unquote, they do,
Yeah.
which is it's a bullshit background check.
Yeah.
It literally took the guy 10 minutes to walk in. You see everything on the news, and then boom, and he's like, "Yep, I got the gun." And it's just like it's insane that's how fast you can buy a fucking high powered rifle in this country. And I'm not saying you need to get rid of all guns. That's like
Hmm.
not realistic. Like
Yeah.
that's never gonna happen. But we do need stricter, regulations. I mean the fact that if you're on a terror watch list, which that guy was on, you can buy a gun. Like the
Wait. So
guy.
this Las Vegas dude was on a terror
No,
watch
no, no,
list.
no, no. I'm talking about the Orlando guy.
Oh,
Sorry
the
about that.
Orlando dude.
I should
Okay.
have
Yeah.
specified that. He was on a terror watch list,
Okay.
and he was able to legally purchase a gun. Like that's a problem. That's a very big problem. I'm not saying people, because I know people who are pretty liberal people who like own guns, but
Own
they're
guns. Yeah.
but they're not, they're like part of a gun club or they go to a shooting range or something. They do it like, they have common sense. But I mean, it's just like I'm not saying nobody should be able to own like a handgun or something like that if that's what you want to do, or if you want to use it for protection of your family or something if somebody whatever. But the fact that you have this, you're able to buy fucking semi-automatic rifles or whatever, like military grade weapons in 10 minutes in certain states, that's insane.
I'm guess
That's nuts to me. I
I'm
can't.
guessing in my state it might be 5. I'm in Texas, so
Oh yeah, no, Texas. I mean, they give them out for free, I think,
pretty
in
much like you buy a
Texas.
Big Mac, you get a
Yeah,
AK for just $1
exactly,
more, like supersizing
exactly.
something. But I
Yeah,
mean, just the good thing is like you're right. You're absolutely. I am 100% with you on this, Nick. Like there's no way you can get rid of all guns. That's just not realistic. But I mean, just sometimes like the defense of it is what is just really just odd. Like when this stuff happens, like the defense of like it's like someone like if this happens, right?
yeah,
Someone will come forward and say, "Hey, I'm gonna try to be level-headed. I am not saying get rid of all guns. I am not saying that. What I am saying is maybe just handguns. Rabble, rabble, no, rub,
yeah,
rub, rub. Like, hey, just guys, can we just maybe just not have semi-automatic weapons be turned fully automatic so easily. Oh, God given right, Second Amendment, America. And I'm like, God, you're not. You gotta concede. You gotta compromise. And do you know
yeah.
what the NRA's compromise was today?
What?
Their compromise is I think there's like a butt or something like that, like the butt of the gun. I forgot what it was called. It was called like a bump butt or something like that,
Yeah, yeah,
which makes the gun like semi-automatic to fully automatic. They were talking about maybe maybe we should be more strict about that. And you're just like, for real?
yeah, yeah.
like, like
That's
that's
insane.
that's your compromise, NRA. I get it. You have an agenda. You're the National Rifle Association. I see what you're all about. But when stuff like this happens, it has to be at your doorstep. It just
the,
has
the
to.
yeah, the ironic part about it is that a lot of those people who like they're like, man, I'm down with the NRA, like all those hardcore gun people, like even the sane legally, like they have legally have guns, but they're like really strict about the Second Amendment. They're like, you can't take away my guns or whatever. They don't even realize that the NRA is working against them
Oh,
at the
absolutely,
same time. It's like
absolutely.
the NRA, like they could have like made it illegal for people to like that are on terror watch lists to fucking buy guns, but they don't want to because that's money out of their pocket. They're going to make money. The more people have guns, the more money they're going to make.
Oh man, have
Essentially.
you seen Lord of War with Nick
No.
Cage? Oh god damn it, Nick.
I know. I
I
know.
know, I know. No, listen, it's not one of those like I can't believe you haven't seen it. It's one of those. It's such a fucking good movie. Like
Yeah.
just the opening scene alone, you're just like, huh,
That's one of the
it's
few Nick Cage movies I haven't seen, so I
dude.
need to see it.
It's so good. It's so good. But like I said before, another thing about this whole aspect is I understand the sentiment of thoughts and prayers, but anytime I hear someone say thoughts and prayers, I get really pissed off. I just get upset.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of implied in these situations. Of course, people are thinking and praying for these people if you believe in that sort of thing. But it's like there needs to be more done than just thoughts and prayers. Like we need to take action. But the thing is that like that's why I don't say anything about these shootings.
Yeah, when it comes up, I don't say anything on social media or anything. I'm just like,
yeah, it's just like because what are you gonna do? It's like it's like people brought up. It's like after innocent children were killed in Sandy Hook, they didn't do a goddamn thing about gun control or stricter gun laws.
you know.
So it's like, well, what the fuck? Now they're not gonna do anything. I mean, if you expect them to do something now after they didn't do anything after
No.
kids got killed,
Like
it's
I say this before, and it okay, and even this is might not even happen. Okay, remember that senator representative? Remember they were playing like baseball in Washington, and they got
yes,
some was it an anti-Trump supporter, I believe, or
yeah,
Trump supporter? I'm not
no, it was an anti-Trump supporter. He was a big like Bernie. They searched his
yes,
Facebook
that's right.
page.
He was a Bernie guy.
Yeah.
And he shot up like this. They were doing like a congressional softball game. They were practicing, and then one of the senators or several senators, I guess, got shot. And the guy
that was a
just
few months ago.
Yeah, that guy. I think the guy just came into session to Congress, and they had a big standing ovation for him and everything. That hasn't changed their minds, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe, and it's awful for me to say this, but I'm thinking maybe the only way that they might do something about gun control and things like that is if there was a way, and it'd be a 1 in a trillion chance, if there was a way to get all the sons and daughters and grandkids of all the senators and representatives into a single place and have them somehow mowed down with these guns, do you think they might be like, oh my god, my half my family tree's gone, we have to get rid of these guns? You see what I'm saying? Like, it won't. They won't affect change unless it directly affects them.
No, yeah, it's not gonna happen. I mean, it's just like you said, it was one of their own got shot.
Now, I want to preface this. First one, edit this out. I don't want that to happen.
No,
but I feel it has to be that drastic in order for something like that to happen.
It's like you said, like one of their own got almost killed playing softball of all things, and they didn't want to. They're not going to do anything now. I mean, even like the fucking they were interviewing the guy that was playing on stage during the fucking shooting, Jason Aldean or whatever, the country music singer, and he was even saying like, he was like, yeah, well, after tonight, my stance might have changed on gun control. Like, even though he was like super against it, he was like, if this, after tonight, I'm thinking that we should probably crack down these like, high powered
exactly
rifles. And this like a country like redneck guy, and now all of his fans are calling him a coward and shit. Like, why would you betray us? And your little ass ran off stage. You didn't even try to save anyone. I'm like, what's he supposed to do? Like, he was up there with a guitar and blue jeans. Like, what was he gonna do? He was dead meat.
People that say that, like, unless you're in the shit, you don't know what you're gonna do. You can say all you want to do things in the world, but unless you're actually there, you don't know what you're gonna do. You don't know if you're gonna let me tell you, there are some brave ass people there. There are people shielding people from guns. There are people trying to take people to safety, and all props in the world to them. Those people are like
all the first responders there.
Exactly.
They were
I know this is cliche, cheesy as fuck, but like those people are true heroes. They're the real MVPs.
They are.
You know,
they are.
They kind of are. Like I can't say what I do in that situation. I would, if you were to say like Ugo in that situation, run like a little bitch. I can't say that I wouldn't. You know,
let's put it this way: Jason Aldean did exactly what I would have done. Like he's on stage, like he's the most prone to get shot. He has a big ass spotlight on him,
and
like,
he's elevated kind of thing. So I mean,
yeah, it's just what do you want him to do? Like his fucking guitar doesn't turn into a fucking gun. Like what's he gonna do? It's so crazy. But like yeah, even he was changing his stance on gun control. It's like if you have some common sense, you kind of like people with common sense know what's up, but it's just like it's crazy. And they were even interviewing some people like that were there that were in the middle of that thing that like actually got out, and they were like, yeah, like I was kind of on the fence about gun control, but after what I just experienced, they were kind of like, yeah, we need to crack down on this shit. And it's like it's crazy, man. But who knows what's going to happen? I don't think if anything does happen, it's definitely not going to happen with Trump in office. So that's not happening.
Nick, you're awesome because that's an awesome segue. We're going to keep rolling back into the past. And my last show, I talked about how because before my last show, I hadn't recorded for a month because I went to Rome. I came back. Harvey happened. I actually missed all of Harvey because I was in Rome. I came back. Houston's kind of rebuilding from that. Then all of a sudden, Florida got slammed by Irma. And then Puerto Rico got slammed like not once, not twice, 3 times, with Maria being the latest, to the point where there's no electricity on that island. It's just in shambles. And it's kind of a two-parter right here. This was happening at the same time that the NFL season started. And it seemed like our commander-in-chief, President Agent Orange himself, he felt it was more a better use of his time and platform to criticize players expressing themselves on the field than it would be to address basically his own country, not a portion of his country not having electricity. You'd be surprised how many people I ran into, and maybe the president was one of them, I hope he wasn't, that did not realize that Puerto Rico was a part of America.
Yeah. I mean, and the whole him saying like, "Oh, those guys should be fired," and all this other stuff. I'm like, dude, you do realize that we have way more important issues than fucking a bunch of football players taking a knee.
Not just that. Not just that. The hilarious part was when he said that. In case you guys didn't know, he was in Alabama. He was at one of his rah-rah rallies because he just does, because he needs to stroke his ego, and he can't, like, it's one of those guilty pleasures that he has. Like when we have a guilty pleasure, it's eating a whole bucket of ice cream or watching a bad movie or doing something else. His guilty pleasure is flying Air Force One to a place with a bunch of Trump supporters and having them pretty much stroke his ego for like an hour. That's
whenever he does one of those rallies, it's literally, and I know this because I'm a wrestling fan, it's literally like he's like cutting a wrestling promo, which is like if people who don't know what that is, that's when you talk on the microphone when you're a wrestler. Like that is exactly what it is. And by the way, Donald Trump is in the WWE Hall of Fame, so so you can't make this shit up.
That is not fake news. But no, that is not fake news. So that happened. So while he was doing this, about he's doing all these things, saying like, oh, you should fire those sons of bitches that take knees. Some of his most arduous and deepest pocketed supporters, the NFL owners, said, oh no, he did not just say this. Because if you realize right now, there's a kind of not a rift, but it's players versus owners type of thing. And with the whole taking of the knee, it's been kind of a issue. It's been it's been an issue in the NFL. It's pretty much the main reason why Colin Kaepernick can't get a job. But when the president when you're a billionaire and the president pretty much says, I want to stop your flow of money, because President Trump on that podium said, people should stop watching the NFL. The ratings are going down. Stop watching it. When the owner's ears perked up, said, this motherfucker's messing with my money.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, essentially, I mean, because all those got like a majority, not like all of them, but there was a good portion of those owners that donated to his campaign.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I think Bob Kraft donated like 8 million. I know Bob McNair donated at least 1 million. Like the maximum they could donate, they donated to his campaign fund and all that. So most of these owners backed him for reasons we all know why they did, but most of these owners backed him. So when he turns around and not even a year into his presidency says like, I want to screw your sport and don't go watch. You're just like, dude, are you for real? I paid for you and I voted for you and I pushed you into this office and now you're gonna take my money?
Yeah, the NFL is in a tricky situation because their ratings are dropping this year. Like the ratings are down, but it's a little bit of a mixture of things. It's people that are not watching because they don't want to see people disrespect the flag. Essentially, they're listening to Trump, but it's also a big portion of like African American like minority viewers that are not watching because they feel like the NFL, is that they blackballed Colin Kaepernick, that they're not, and especially now the whole like taking a knee thing, like the week after when everybody took a knee, it just seemed like a big chance for a photo op. It really seemed like, especially I'm a Cowboys fan and Jerry Jones, I want to kick the shit out of him because here's
the thing about that with the owners, with same with the players. This is Business Ugo talking. Hello, everyone. This is Business Ugo. What the owners did was, I'm going to say it. What the owners did was genius.
Yeah.
By taking a knee with these players and doing that, hey, Nick, what's coming up in 2020 or 2019?
Re-election? I don't know.
No, CBA.
Oh, yes. Okay.
With these owners getting behind the players, having their back, taking a knee with them, when that CBA rolls around and the players like, we want more money, we want more this, the owners can turn around and say like, well, we can't do that. Remember when we stood against you when that mean old president said you were a bunch of sons of bitches?
Yeah.
They're going to use this as leverage. So the minute I saw the owners kneeling with them, I was like, oh, this is genius. They're going to use this as leverage when the CBA rolls around.
Yeah.
They totally are.
Yeah.
They could care less about they could care less. I wouldn't say they could. They don't care about the players as much as people think they might. I'll just say that. They're commodities.
Yeah.
To the NFL owners, these players are commodities. And if they can find leverage over these commodities, they'll take it. And they did with this whole protest thing. They really did.
The one statement that I read that's from the teams that sounded completely 100% sincere was like the Seahawks. That sounded like and then they that was a really good statement. They probably had the best out of it. The worst was the Redskins. They didn't even address the situation at all. Like statement.
Do we even listen to the Redskins anymore? They're like they're called the Redskins. Not to mention, I think I tweeted this the other day. Monday Night Football was the Racism Bowl, and I mean, I don't. Yeah, it just the Chiefs versus the Redskins.
But yeah, I mean,
we still have this. But I'm sorry, Nick. Please continue.
Well, no, but it's just. It really is getting to the point where it's just like, at first it seemed like the whole like Kaepernick, it was the Kaepernick thing, but like I applauded him 100%, and all these guys that are still taking a knee or sitting down or whatever, I applaud them 100% for exercising their First Amendment and everything like that. But now that, the owners are getting involved and everything, I think it kind of diminishes the message a little bit. I don't know if that's just me that feels that way, but I think that it's turning into like Jerry Jones literally did it just so he could get a photo op.
God, you just see the smirk on his face when he did that. Oh my God.
It was so, I'm like, dude, first of all, I know you ain't kneeling for police brutality. I know you ain't. So I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about that. But it's just really like, it's getting to this point now. But I mean, this was what was going to happen. I mean, now you're getting players in other sports that are getting involved with the whole LeBron James and Steph Curry going at Trump and.
Oh, speaking of, guess what I heard today? Which, I'm going to call him out on this. Today, someone interviewed Kobe Bryant, right?
Yeah.
Because the season started. And they said, hey, Kobe, what's with all this, protest stuff going on? Would you take a knee? Or what would you do about it? It's like, I'd take a knee. And I'm thinking to myself, that is complete and utter bullshit. You would totally not take a knee, Kobe. Mr. Kobe, middle name I don't know, Bryant. You
Yeah,
would not take a knee. Mother, you were on top of the world. Then you threw that all away for like a cheating in Colorado. Your world was torn to shambles, and you had to build your brand back up. And you're telling me
yeah,
you would do that again by taking a knee? Fuck you, Kobe. You know
yeah.
goddamn well you wouldn't take a knee. And the only reason you said that because you know you're not gonna play again. You know you're never gonna have to be in a situation where if there's an anthem and
Oh
you're
yeah,
uniformed, so of course you would say, "Oh, I'd take a knee." Yeah, let everyone think like, "Oh, Kobe Bryant is so socially con." No, goddamn well, if Kobe Bryant was on the Lakers, he would not be taking a knee.
yeah. I mean, there's even, it's even stretching over into baseball now. I'm a huge baseball fan,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's stretching over into base. There's guys now that are taking knees and everything. So it's like
Who's your team,
uh
Nick?
my team. I'm a New York Yankees fan,
Oh,
and
Yankees fan.
right now I'm watching that, like it's on mute in the background, but I'm
Yeah.
watching them get pummeled by the Indians right now.
Ah,
So yeah, but
did the
yeah.
Stros
So
win today?
did who?
Did the Stros win today? Astros?
Yes, the Astros did win. They beat the Red
I
Sox.
just want to hear you say that. Okay.
Yes, yes. But hey, if you guys beat the Red Sox, that's fine by me. So that's I'm a Yankee fan. So anytime the Red Sox get trampled, I'm cool with that. But yeah, the whole the thing is just it's crazy. And like I said, like he should have been speaking about Puerto Rico or something, Trump. And he finally did make it to Puerto Rico and was showing off his jump shot, and it was pretty
No,
bad.
is this before or after he like bitched out the mayor?
This is after that, I think.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Yeah, no, he was. Did you see that clip of him throwing paper towels?
I saw a picture of him with the paper towels in his hand, but I think I know what you're talking. I didn't see the clip, but
He was literally throwing paper towels to people in Puerto Rico like he was throwing T-shirts at a basketball game, and it was the most ridiculous thing. Like people even like took photos of him and put it on like the cover of NBA 2K18, like online. Like it was hysterical.
I
Because
do
it looked
remember
like it, but it's just
I do remember when he said that the people in Puerto Rico shouldn't watch the fake news that's going on saying he's not helping, and then of course
yeah.
people are like they can't, Mr. President, because they have no electricity.
Yeah, and when he finally made it there, he was like, "Look," he was like, "You guys made it out." He actually said some of these people made it out lucky because there wasn't as many deaths in this hurricane as Katrina. And I was like, "Dude, are you fucking like that's not something you say." And I kind of get what he was trying to say, but Donald Trump can't speak for shit. So when he tries to say something that even sounds kind of like sensible, he sounds like says it in the most fucked up way that makes it sound like you shouldn't have said that.
Listen, and the thing
So
is, I'm not gonna say, okay, look, listen, Puerto Rico got aid. I'm not saying they didn't get aid. Of course, Puerto Rico got aid. You know, the president doesn't like micromanage everything, regardless of who the president is, whether it's Trump or Obama or whatever. Doesn't micromanage what's going on with aid. So I'm not saying that the U.S. didn't give Puerto Rico aid. They did, but it comes back to what is a president, right? A president is the physical manifestation of an entire country. You are a spokesperson for an entire country. So you have to be very mindful of what you say and what you do and how you're presented. And none of that seems to matter to him. None of that.
No.
You know?
None of it. And he says what he wants. He does whatever he wants. He curses in speeches, like he called all the NFL players kneeing son of a bitches. It's like he's the president. I mean, if a fucking Obama cursed in one of his speeches, the guy would have been fucking like lynched or something like that. Like it would have been bad.
It would have been bad. It would have
been bad.
It would have been bad. It just.
I don't mean to get too graphic there. It would have been bad. Like
but you're not wrong. That's why, like, I remember it was David Allen Greer. David Allen Greer was when Obama first got elected, when he had his comedy show on Comedy Central. He was talking about, like, man, if I'm Obama has this, he has to literally at night when he's sleeping with Michelle, he has to sleep with her in a 3-piece suit kind of thing. He has to look sharp in everything he does. He cannot make a single mistake because Obama realized that he's not only representing the United States of America, he's representing every person of color.
Yep.
That he could not mess up in any single way. Obama's a huge, like, smoker.
Yeah.
He could not be seen in public smoking. kind of thing. He had to
Yeah.
hide, and he was trying to quit smoking because he knew the image, just the image of him smoking, which millions of Americans and people around the world smoke, just the image of him smoking would just be detrimental not only to the country but to people of color. It just he was cognizant of what he represented.
Yeah.
And if Donald Trump is cognizant of what he represents, he's okay. So basically, he's representing America. He's not doing that, and not only that, he's representing rich, old, white men. And he's not representing them in a good fashion either.
Yeah. And he's not and there's even like, you know, his approval ratings through the fucking shitter, like is in the shitter, because it you know, even a lot of his people who voted for him and supported him, he still does have a big fan base and a big support group, but a lot of them have even been like, all right, you promised to do this, you promised to do that, you promised this shit, and none of it's done.
I've never seen such a huge buyer's remorse attitude in my life ever. It's
literally
awesome and horrible at the same time.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, he was like, you know, because everybody's mad that he was like, you know, we're gonna repeal and replace Obamacare. That was the big thing. Repeal or replace. First day, he was gonna be even in the White House yet, and that shit was gonna be done. And they have no idea what they're doing when it comes to healthcare, none whatsoever. And it's just like, and Obamacare is not a perfect system, but
it's not.
You should just keep it in place and fucking fix it and make changes to it and make it better so people.
Well, they are, Nick. It's called defunding it, right? That's fixing it, right?
Yes,
defunding it? That's fixing.
Yeah,
that fixes.
Anything with Obama's name on it, they just want it gone.
I literally heard like they're bringing some type of like healthcare plan to him, and he didn't even. First of all, he doesn't understand any of it, which I'm not surprised. But they were trying to explain it to him, and he just stopped him and said, does it repeal and replace Obamacare? Like, well, Mr. President is like, can we say it replaces Obamacare? He doesn't care what it does.
No.
As long as Obama's name is off of it, type of thing. And I'm like,
yeah.
If he's that cognizant of that, why isn't he cognizant of other things? You know, I don't know. I just, you know, we're living in a bizarro world. And speaking of bizarro world, if we were living in a bizarro world, Nick, I always tell my host to come up with their scenarios, because what if podcast, we have to have a what if scenario. Of course, it's kind of, you know, branding.
Yeah.
So you actually came up with a pretty interesting one, and I'd like you to introduce it to the people. Please, Nick, tell me what your what if scenario was.
My what if scenario was what if you know, there was a species that was like advanced, like us, like it was a different species, but they were as advanced as humans, like kind of similar to Planet of the Apes kind of thing, but maybe they were more human like, not necessarily ape like. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's an idea that can be fleshed out a little bit more, but it's just like, you know, we are so advanced, like it's crazy how much like our technology has advanced and we've advanced as human beings and everything like that. But it's like, what about if there was something else out there that was...
Let me try to flesh it out for you, because I was thinking about this when you gave it to me. I was thinking about it. So we could go two different ways, and I'm going to let you pick. We could either go A, we've evolved side by side with. Remember, I before the podcast, I told Nick to refresh his memory with some nostalgia. I told Nick to just watch the opening sequence of EXO Squad on YouTube. Now, if you remember EXO Squad on YouTube, or the show EXO Squad back in the mid-90s, it was, we were in space, or we were traveling in space kind of thing, and we humans created Neo-Sapiens, as they were called. And they were like, They had 3 fingers, they were blue, they were bald, and they were intelligent creatures, but they were pretty much like slave-like creatures. They were just doing menial work. Until one day, they broke away from, you know, their masters and became their own thing, their own society. So I was thinking if it would be something like the Neo-Sapiens, in that they, in order to be, I guess, because you can't really say, like, there has to be certain criterias in order for you to be considered an intelligent race type of thing, right? Like, for example, animals have communication, but we don't consider them, you know, quote unquote intelligent beings. So I feel that if we were doing this scenario in this way, that we would co-evolve side by side with human beings, and let's call this race Neo Sapiens, right?
Yeah.
Co-evolve side by side, each have their own language and cultures, and also to the point, language and cultures. And I feel that this is where it would be important. Two things. First, if they have their own language and culture and traditions and things like that in society, first, they have the ability to learn our language and vice versa, meaning they could interact with our society and we can interact with their society, type of thing. And second, I feel in order for it to make it truly that, because you could hundreds of years ago, you could make the same argument with like black people and white people, people from Africa, people from Europe. But the thing is that if someone from Africa sleeps with someone from Europe, they're going to have a mixed child, correct?
Yes.
I want to make it to a point where Neo Sapiens could not crossbreed with humans. So we are truly two different species, two different intelligent species that we co-create. Neo Sapiens sleep with Neo Sapiens and they make other Neo Sapiens. Humans sleep with humans and they can't interbreed. Our DNA is too different that we can't interbreed, type of thing. I think that's key, because if we evolve side by side and we can interbreed, we'd pretty much, just meld together like we're doing right now in the human race, and all be brown, kind of thing. So I think the key would be A, we could learn, integrate into their culture, and vice versa, they integrate into ours, and B, we cannot crossbreed, meaning we're always going to look different or be different, but we're still intelligent, understand each other.
Yeah, so, that sounds about right.
So Nick, how would you feel, like, I know this is pretty broad, but if that were to happen, what do you think would be the dynamic? How would that, what would happen? How would we come forth and things like that? I just want to, again, free balling, just free form talking, just stuff that comes off the top of your head. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it would be interesting for sure. I think that trying to interact with people. I mean, if we're going to be in the same places and everything like that at the same, it's like it would be really, really odd. I think there would be a lot of conflict maybe with I guess another like species like that.
There would absolutely be conflict.
Yeah, there would absolutely be conflict, and it's
unavoidable.
It's just like, I don't know what like a war like that would look like, but it's it could happen. But it's just I mean, yeah, I mean what would be interesting to see for me, and it popped in my mind when you said about the creation, and like you can't we can't create with Neo Sapiens and Neo Sapiens can't create with us. But it's like, are we, like, when it comes to, I guess, if there's a female variety, are we like it would be interesting to see, like, are we attracted to like, if there's like a female Neo Sapien, are we attracted to them even though we can't co-create with them?
That would be very interesting. That would be, and when you bring up stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
It opens up a lot of questions, because when you say that, all right, female Neo Sapiens, female Neo Sapiens, how us as humans would be attracted to female Neo Sapiens? Let's say we are, right?
Yeah.
Let's say we are attracted to female Neo Sapiens. They are intelligent creatures as well. They might go through their own feminism revolution in their culture and our culture, same thing like that. There might be gay Neo Sapiens, as in female Neo Sapien and female Neo Sapien and male and things like that. Do they have fluid gender things like we're having, kind of going through right now? Would it, considering that you can't co-create and they're of a different species, because, for example, bestiality is illegal in a lot of states in this country.
Yes.
Not all of them. I'm not saying having relations with a Neo Sapien would be bestiality, but clearly, of course, there would be groups of people that would see it be frowned upon. But would we make laws saying, like, you can't have relations with the Neo Sapien type of thing? Like, where would be the line? Because you could say the same thing back with black people and white people couldn't get married kind of thing until Board Brown versus Board of Education. Not that's education, I'm sorry, but till stuff happened, laws happened where we could actually intermingle. And I'm thinking we get to that point as well. But what would be the dynamics? What would be the court cases? Would they have their own legal system type of thing? Or would they be in our legal system? Like, what would be the jurisdictions? There would be some really interesting questions.
Yeah, and like how would society, like if you were attracted to like a neo, like how would society see you as like our society? Like would
Yes.
it be like gay? Would it be like gay marriage? Like how a lot of people feel like, or like or homosexuality, where it's like
How would their society see it as? Would they?
yeah,
I mean, would it be one of those? I guess it would be. It would make sense. Would they say we're superior to these humans? Why would you even be attracted to them? Type of
yeah,
thing. Would we say like, oh man, these guys are monsters. Why would you be attracted to them? Type of thing. Would there be like I don't know, inter rights groups? You know, not gay rights, but
yeah,
inter rights groups. I think a really cool question, which is um it would be a blessing and a curse. Would be whenever we have a common enemy, a lot of differences fall aside.
yeah,
And I feel that if there was a Neo Sapien race, we wouldn't be so poo poo on gay marriage, on interracial dating with us as a human race. Those we would have gotten past those way long ago than we recently have,
yeah,
type of thing. Because our main thing would be the Neo Sapiens and us,
yep,
you know. So it's one of those. If you have a common enemy, you'd get past your own differences to the point where that's not even a problem. Would it be like honestly? Would it be if we were side by side? Would it be in the 1850s? No one would bat an eye. Like that's a great. Would there be slavery? Would there be slavery
oof,
of black people because we're both humans, or would there be slavery of neo? Like, how would that dynamic be? Like, human
yeah,
history would be just insane. Like, it would. We couldn't fathom what we could even think of what would happen today. Type of things. There would be wars, yes, but would there be the slave trade? And if there were slaves, would they be Neo Sapiens slave trades? Would there be human slaves to Neo Sapiens?
yeah,
Type of thing. Would it work the other way around? Like how would that work? Like different cousins. And the thing is, I'm guessing since we're both carbon-based life forms, we both live on Earth. We don't both need oxygen to live. But since we're so different, do they have different dietary needs than we do? Is there certain Neo Sapien food that they grow or harvest that if we eat, we'd be allergic to it, or they can't eat our food? Like like how? Because food is a part of culture, as you know, kind of thing.
yeah.
So how would that just there's so many questions, so many things you could tackle and look at. It's just really interesting.
Yeah, no, it really is, and it's just like you said, the whole history would be, and like you said, if there was like Neo Sapien slavery, like how do they determine what's like a slave, and what, like it would be interesting to see like who's like, how would they determine, like set apart like the master from the slave? Like
Yeah.
is there like is there like
Is
different
it
kind of
is there a different
ethnicities?
hierarchy
Yeah,
within the Neo Sapiens? There probably would be if we're both evolved both on this planet. There probably would be a hierarchy in with
yeah,
the Neo Sapiens or different races of Neo Sapiens. On the show, they were all blue, but I'm guessing they'd be different colors if they were here. But like, yeah,
yeah,
would they have the same problems that we do, kind of thing? I mean, would they have the same insecurities? Would they suffer depression and all these other things that we trivial things that we as
mhm.
humans, the human experience that we have, would they suffer the same thing?
Yeah, and like even like when it comes to like something about like their rights and everything. I
Yeah.
mean, like do they have like the right to vote? Do they have like a say in like who the president's going to be, even though they're not, is there, do they have to follow under those same guidelines? Is there like a separate neo-sapien president?
President type of thing and their own representative. Would we have the great American experiment of people from all over the world have combined to make this country? Would it be the same thing? People from all over Neo Sapien and human world would come to make this country, and we would have like, oh yeah, well that Neo Sapien dude in '68 he lost that election, but that human the next time he cleaned everything up. But yeah, he was like, would we be having those arguments, kind of
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it would be crazy.
would it be one of those things where just I mean, we'd get to a point where like there'd still be certain people that because it's I find it weird because even if with racism and sexism that we experience today in our world, you can still look into someone's eyes or see how they act or how they talk, even if you can't understand what they're saying, and you can still convey what emotion they have, whether it be sadness or anger or happiness. Would that
Yeah.
be the same dynamic with Neo Sapiens? Because they could have intelligent language and they can understand what we're saying, but maybe to them anger is happiness. You know, would it be like that? I don't know. Would it be would happiness be sadness? Like, you know, they're intelligent enough that they have their own society and economy and things like that, but at the same time, lost in translation. What's
Yeah.
cool, what's great to us might be bad to them, and you know, hence conflicts would arise, type of thing. Would that, and again, that would affect our culture, because you know how cultures bleed into other cultures. You could talk about culture vultures, like with um, what's her name, Azalea, that Australian chick, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Would there be stuff humans are doing that basically the Neo Sapiens have been doing for years, but we stole it and because it's cool, type of thing? Vice versa. Could there be stuff we're doing that they stole because they thought it was cool? You know?
Yeah.
How that would
Yeah.
affect
Like,
culture and things like that. Just all the possibilities.
yeah. No. How would you brought up the subject of the music? Like, what kind of like would they go about the same ways of creating music we would? Like, I don't know if there would be different genres or that they would
Yeah,
bleed into. It would be, yeah. There's a lot of different opportunities there. I mean, it's all hypothetical, but it's just
of
like,
course.
yeah, it's just the possibilities are endless. Because I mean, look at how far we've come as just regular humans. Like, what about their technology? Like,
Exactly.
would they like make advancements in technology, and would we like use it? I mean, or would we not want to use it because it's not made by us, or would it be exclusive to them?
Stuff like that. Would it be exclusive to them because like I said, because we're so, and not just technology, like you said, technology, yes, but also health technology in
Yeah,
medicine. Because remember, because we can't co-create, our physiologies are different. How would their physiologies be different from ours? Would it be beneficial to our medical research and vice versa? Like we discovered the cure to polio that they couldn't
yeah,
discover, and our cure to polio is their cure to, I don't know, Hep C or something. Like, could they just, could their cure to the common cold for their common cold be the cure to our cancer? Like, we don't. I mean, we don't know.
yeah,
Solely because their physiology is different. Because remember, um, whenever we're doing testing on drugs and medicine and things like that, we have to go from like animals to sometimes, you know, chimpanzees and monkeys to our closest relatives to humans. Now, if they're so close to us and they'd be doing the testing themselves, like it would react differently. Like we could, I feel we could. I could be completely wrong. We'd be much more advanced in medicine because simply because of different physiology, we could say like, okay, your cells use chloride where our cells use oxygen. So if we can switch this out and do that, ta-da! Like we could discover something or do something like that. You know?
yeah, yeah. It would, yeah, the medicine part. It was a good point you brought up, because it's like what kind of, like you said, what kind of advances they would make in medicine. That's crazy to think. I mean, if they like if a Neo Sapien came up with a cure for cancer, it's like, what would, like, if like, how would that make us look if they came up with it? Like the egos of like doctors that are like
Oh yeah.
humans, it would be just like
We've been
completely
searching for
probably
years,
shattered.
and these guys, you know, all of a sudden cracked it, and we did. And the same thing could work. We could find a cure for a cancer they have because of
Yeah,
we're searching for something, and you know they could feel the same way. Like it could be on both sides, not just like medicine. Just um, even though it would be trivial in the grand scale of things, or maybe it might not. I don't know. Sports, you know,
yeah,
different physiologies. Would we have a mixed league? Would there just be a Neo Sapien NFL and a human NFL? Could there be like a mixed type of thing? Because now our whole problem is, or I guess dynamic is male female type of thing. There's
yeah.
not a mixed sports. Now we'd have male female Neo Sapien human type of thing. Would it be like? Could we have a like? Would there be like the Olympics would take on a completely different meaning now? You
Oh
know?
yeah, oh
Would there
yeah,
be a separate Neo Sapien Olympics, a separate human Olympics, and then an overall Olympics with humans and Neo Sapiens? Like,
yeah,
would the winners of each send their best to the inter Earth kind of Olympics type of thing?
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, like, would they have different sports than us? Like, if they, like, I know we have like baseball, football, basketball, and all that, but it's like, would they have some sort of new sport that's not like the traditional ones we have now?
Exactly, and
Um,
it will probably be formatted to their physiology or how they move
yeah,
or kind of thing like that. So, and it'd be weird because you maybe have like a Jackie Robinson of Neo Sapien Sports. Like you
yeah,
have a human who's just he's human, he's 100% human's been tested, but he's really good at this Neo Sapien sport. And it's just like,
yeah,
hey, he broke
the
the
barrier.
species barrier,
Yeah,
you know, kind of thing, and vice versa type of thing. Like it would be wild. they'd be in history books if they didn't erase them, and like they do today, calling slaves immigrants. But sure, but in it would just change the way the history books would be written, kind of thing, like, and because the way history books are written, because life is stranger than fiction, our media would be insane.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, like
Oh
you'd
yeah.
have your like A-list actors. Like the number one actor is a human, number two is Neo Sapien, number three is Neo Sapien, number four is human. Like it would just be a mix between the two
Yeah.
type of thing. You know?
Oh yeah, like you would have like on one hand you'd have The Rock, and the other hand you'd have some other guy. It's just like would they act in movies together? Like would it be?
Exactly. Like
Yeah,
would there be
like
a
it would.
buddy comedy? Like he's going back to Neo Sapia, and the Rock's just wanted to go to Miami, but it's a buddy cop. Blah blah blah. Like I like
Yeah,
what? I kind of think, and because of the two different cultures, you'd have conflict in the movie, and sort of things like that. It just be. We can't even fathom it because we've never been in the situation. We've always been the quote unquote dominant species on the planet,
yeah.
the quote unquote smartest. So if we'd have another species that was just as smart as we are, how do we, how, like, so that's a good question. If we've always been number one, and if we had a species that was also just as smart as we are, would that make us more aggressive and angry and violent, or would that make us more cooperative, kind of thing? Because they've always been there. So it's like being the single child, being a single child versus having a sibling, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a single kid, you're usually kind of selfish. You only think for yourself, and only think number one. But as a sibling, because you grew up with them, you know how to share more, you gain other skills in order to get what you want, because you have to share with someone else, type of thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we could redefine humanity if we had another species that were just as smart as us, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. It would definitely be it would definitely be very interesting in very different, like in multiple different aspects. I mean, just like you said, in media, I mean, especially in like it would be interesting to see how like the video game world would change too. Like it would be like it would really would be. Like would there be like different, like would they play the same kind of consoles we would? Would they have their own kind of I don't know. It'd be crazy. Like,
And the thing is, it would permeate into every aspect of life, even the most mundane things you never thought about. Advertising. Like, how do you
Yep.
advertise the Neo Sapiens versus how you advertise the humans versus,
Yep.
like just, it would permeate
It
into
adds a different layer to every single aspect of your life.
every single thing. Like if you and me were transported to their human Neo Sapien world, we'd do something so mundane, like maybe wave to Neo Sapien, or just like wink at one, and then be like, "Oh my God, you just called him like the N word!" Like, I didn't know,
Yeah.
kind of thing, So it just be crazy, man. So we've been rambling on. Do you have any last thoughts, inputs, or just stuff to throw out there, Nick?
About the topic or just anything?
Anything and the topic, man.
Well, the topic, I mean, obviously we're speaking hypotheticals, but it's just it's like I said, it's an idea that we fleshed it out a lot, but it could be fleshed out even more. It's a very dynamic topic sort of thing, and like you said, it changes every aspect of your everyday life. But yeah, I think that the way you brought it up would be definitely I think you fleshed out the idea way better than I could have, with the whole Neo Sapien thing about how they can't crossbreed and everything like that. Like it's just it would definitely change our lives forever. Like it would be interesting to see what this world would be if we did have another species that was like us. But other than the topic, I really don't have much to say. I want to thank you for having me on. Really, I just started listening to this show a couple episodes ago, and it's really good, man. You do a really good job. So
I try, man. I'm not 4-year veteran like you, but I try to do the best
Yeah.
I can. But please, Nick, tell everyone, this is plug time. Tell everyone where to find you, how to find you on all the social medias, and how to find you on all the websites, and all the stuff that you do.
All right. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, you could do so at Nick Edge. That's NICKEDGE. You can also just type in Nick Luzzy on Facebook. That's LUZZI is my last name. You can find me on Facebook. And if you want to check out my podcast, go to cheappopinc.com. That's where I host the podcast. It's on there. It's also on iTunes. If you type in Cheap Pop Inc., it will pop right up on iTunes. And
I see what you did there.
yes. So So yeah, and it'll pop right up. So cheappopinc.com is where you can find everything else. And just type in Cheap Pop Podcast on all the social medias, and we'll pop right up on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and everything like that. And yeah, especially if you're a wrestling fan, come check us out. We have a lot of fun with our show, so you should definitely check our show out.
And I want to thank everyone for checking my show out. And if you want to get at me, if you want to see the show, experience the show, I am on YouTube. Just search for The What If Cast. Like I said in the last show, I fixed how to search for it, and I actually pop up this time. Before, they type it in, and a lot of other things will pop up before me, but I fixed it, and I will pop up. We are also on SoundCloud. Just go to soundcloud.com, search The What If Cast, no spaces, or just put soundcloud.com/The What If Cast. You can email me if you have any what if scenarios that you want to talk about. Any questions, any comments, concerns. If you want Nick to come back, if you want to say, fuck you, Nick, you suck, and wrestling sucks, you can always send me those comments to thewhatifcast@gmail.com. And like on YouTube, you can put a comment there as well. You can please like the page, subscribe to the page, and comment on the page. I want to hear everything. If that is too formal for you guys and you just want to get at me at 140 characters, apparently now 280. Did you hear about that? They're going to double Twitter.
Yeah.
If you want to write a soliloquy to me on Twitter, you can do that. Go to @the_whatifcast. I'm on Instagram if you want to heart my pictures when I hashtag 20 different things and stuff like that. Just search for What If Podcast. And I am on Facebook. If you go to Facebook, search for What If Podcast, you'll see a picture of a bald black dude with a beard and the blue background. That is me. Like the page, post to the page. And again, I'm looking into it, trying to get on Stitcher, the Stitcher thing the kids are doing.
Yeah, I just got on there, so
I'm working to do that. So I'm gonna definitely do that on all those different platforms. Once again, Nick, thank you for coming to the show and bringing such a great topic that we really went full bore into.
Yeah, not a problem, Ugo. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so I am Ugo, and this is my co-host for the week, Nick Aluzzi. I'd like to thank everyone for listening to the What If Podcast, and we will see you guys next time. Say goodbye to the audience, Nick.
See you guys.
Bye, everyone.